made it here in Buenos Aires,
the capital of Argentina in South America.
It's nice and warm here. I guess global warming is not such a bad thing.
They don't call it global warming anymore, and that's why. It makes it sound cozy and warm. That's why they don't call it global warming anymore.
Who is they?
They is the media, and their agenda is not to spread science. It's to spread fear and to sell newspapers and ads and make people buy things. So they changed it to climate change.
Is that better?
No, it's not better. It's 10 times worse and totally inaccurate and misleading. The climate is constantly changing. It's been changing for thousands of years, and we wouldn't be here if the climate hadn't changed. There was the first ice age, and it got warmer. Then there was the second ice age, and it got colder. The second ice age ended, and it got warmer. So of course there's climate change.
So you're saying there's nothing to worry about?
I'm saying exactly the opposite. There's plenty to worry about, and we need accurate terms for things. What we have to worry about is humans destroying the planet and causing pollution and making plants and animals extinct and threatening biodiversity. It really started with the dodo bird.
A dodo bird? Here we are in Ushuaia, Patagonia.
In Argentina, at the southern tip of the continent of South America.
So what were you saying about the dodo bird?
Yeah, the dodo bird was a bird that's extinct now. It was 2 feet tall, weighed about 30 pounds, and they lived on the island of Mauritius. And when the Europeans arrived at Mauritius, which is in the Indian Ocean, not far from Madagascar, in about 1560, the island was full of dodo birds, and people started to kill them and destroy their environment. And in about 100 years, by 1650, the dodo bird was extinct. People were like, weren't there, but what happened to the dodo bird? They didn't understand that they could make an entire species of animal extinct. But did we learn our lesson? No. Since then, we have made over 300,000 species of plants and animals extinct through destruction of the environment and pollution. And it's also an important problem that we have to address for the climate. But we have to have proper terminology. Climate change and global warming are not good terms. We should call it synthetic weather extreme. Why? Because synthetic, it's a problem that man made, and weather extremes that's what people care about. They don't want it to be too hot and too cold, and that's what polluting the environment does. It causes synthetic weather extreme.
Synthetic weather extreme, that's great. Well, if you really believe all that, then you should go to Antarctica and check it out.
Well, you know, this happens to be the port where the expeditions to Antarctica leave from.
Really?
Yeah, so you know what?
Let's go to Antarctica. These are Gento penguins.
Yes, on the island of Barrentos in the South Shetland Islands in the Antarctic region. Untouched, pristine wilderness.
I heard where we live in the United States, this summer was the hottest record.
Yes, it's true. It was the hottest summer on record. It was the hottest year on record. But that's a misleading statistic, even though it's true, because they've only been keeping records for 150 years. It's not like they've been keeping records for thousands of years. And when it comes to environmental patterns and weather patterns, it only matters that the patterns are over a period of thousands of years. 150 years is nothing. Juggling in Antarctica with pieces of Antarctica.
Here we are in the engine room.
Yes, twin 1600 kilowatt engines run on diesel fuel.
Didn't it used to run on coal?
Yes, the steam engines of the past ran on coal. There was a coal box and a man with a shovel shoveling coal into the furnace, and he was called the fireman.
That's an awful job.
Well, if you loved your work and you felt you were where you belong, then it was a wonderful job.
Do most people feel they are where they belong?
Yeah, good question. Most people think that most people are stupid, but they don't realize that they themselves are part of most people.
Right.
What's important is we must respect the opinion of others, even when it's different.
Especially when it's different.
Especially when it's different. That's a red flag.
Here we are in the peninsula.
On the mainland, on the continent of Antarctica. A place of extreme beauty and wonder and unpolluted and untouched awesomeness.
Pity we cannot tell people 500 years ago of not polluting the planet.
Yes, it's true. We can't talk to people in the past, but we can talk to people in the future. And this is our message to people 1,000 years from now. We live in the year 5500, 50 years after the Beatles first hit, and 500 years after the birth of Leonardo da Vinci. And we live in a time of scientific development. People can live 70 to 100 years. They can get hip replacement operations and heart transplants. But you, in 1,000 years, will be able to live hundreds of years. There will be head transplants and cloning, and you will have the opportunity to live for thousands of years. But this is our vow to you. We will deliver the planet unpolluted and in its natural state of beauty. And that is our message to you from Antarctica.
Here we are in Nico Harbor.
And here is the Deville Glacier. A glacier is a river of ice that flows slowly to the sea. It is replenished on the top by snow, and at the bottom, huge chunks break off. It's called calving, and they fall into the sea and become icebergs.
Why are you concerned with people in the future? You don't know them.
Actually, I do. That's a very good question. Because they are our children and grandchildren.
Ah.